Welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Real Housewives of New York, Season 15, Episode number 4. Match Point of No Return is the title of this one.
Why? We had a little tiny scene of tennis, and that's what they came up with?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So we start off with the girls. They're in the van, and they're on their way to do the tennis thing. And we find out that Rebeca is nursing, and she feels like she can't get enough water. We didn't find out right then and there how long she's been nursing for or how long she plans to nurse for, but we'll wait and get to that.
But we did find out that her husband relieved her of nursing when they were in Europe.
Yes, we did find that
out.
out.
In Europe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that
I
was
wild.
Ask,
I listened to that story and I was like, okay. And then I thought, would I ever actually let that happen? So would you actually ever do that?
Well, let me ask you this. Did you nurse?
Well, good question.
Did you nurse?
I couldn't because I, unbeknownst to me, had an infection. So I did attempt to, but it never came to fruition. But I do know that it can be extremely painful. And I get that.
That's what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I was just thinking to myself, putting myself in that situation and thinking, So I just want to know, would either of you have?
Yes, I would say yes, because if I don't think Bill would do that, to be quite honest with you.
Eric totally would.
Oh, yeah. My husband totally would. Totally would.
100%.
Yeah. And
totally.
I thought to myself, well,
but I do know the
pain. If I was in pain like that, then maybe I would be like, fuck it, just whatever.
It is
I just thought about
extremely painful. And I listened to Lala on Jeff Lewis today, and how she described it is exactly how it feels. It feels like knives are trying to come out of your nipples from inside.
Yes.
That is exactly how it feels. It is a sharp shooting pain in your nipple.
Yes.
So yes, when you're in that place, because
like,
when I nursed for both my kids, not for long at all. Joe was 4 days because then he had to go to the hospital and have surgery, and Tess was 2 weeks. So, but while I was still in the hospital with Joe, that started happening, and it was so incredibly painful. And the female nurses were not very helpful. I had a male nurse one night, and he asked me what was wrong, and I told him. He went and got me ice packs, and I slept with them on me, and it was so helpful. And I thought, boy, it took a male nurse to figure that out. But I was very grateful. But to answer your question, absolutely, because that pain is like no other.
It is very painful. And I listened to Lala on Jeff Lewis today also. And I thought it was interesting that Jeff Lewis wanted to drink her breast milk.
And it's funny because they weren't even talking about this. They didn't mention Real Housewives of New York, did they?
Oh, no, they weren't talking.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
they weren't
timely that they were having that conversation while this was going on the show.
Well, they were having that conversation because she was talking about how her left boob was bigger than her right boob on camera because she's nursing, and,
Yeah, they get lopsided.
Right. And he was saying that who let him drink her breast milk?
They said who it was, but I didn't
can't
recognize
remember
the name. Yeah.
And she breastfed for a long time, and she had it she had lots of it. And Lala's like, this is like liquid gold. Like, I don't know that, I would give this up to you,
Right.
But he said he would drive to the Valley for it. So,
I think it's going to happen. I think it's happening.
I think it's going to happen too.
Funny.
Yeah.
So anyway, after that conversation, they get to the tennis courts, and Tino is the tennis instructor.
Erin was flirting with him pretty hard. No,
her eyes were sparkling. She's fine. I'd do it too. I liked it. I
harmless.
Thought it was cute.
I don't think I would.
No. Okay.
I don't flirt with other guys.
Okay.
Nope.
So they're hitting. No. Okay. They're hitting the balls around, except Ubah and Jenna are sitting there in the beginning, and they're just watching them. And they really were not very good at it. They were, as Aaron said, they were actually horrible. And then they sit down, and I'm not sure which one of them said it. They're like, okay, well, we got a 5-minute workout. I mean, they literally played for 5 minutes.
That was Jenna and Ubah, right?
Jenna and Ubah were sitting there. But then then Ubah got up and was playing with Aaron. Just the two of them were playing together, because then sitting on the bench, it was Jessel and Raquel. on the bench, and then Sai walks past them and goes to sit on the opposite bench on the opposite end with Jenna and her back to everybody. And Brynn's like, she's like, I'm sick of this. Like, why does she keep doing this to me? And this is the second time. She's like, this is the second time that this is happening. And then Jessel asks Raquel, how do you pronounce your last name? And she says, Chevremont. Chevremont. Can you do the French? Chevremont?
No, you did good. You did good, Wendy.
I can't.
You did very good.
Okay. I was like, you guys going to help me?
No, you're
Although
good. You're good. You
lunch
don't need
today
any
and
help.
I did have to say a French word, and I did.
Okay. So then Jessel asks, how did you get a French last name? And Raquel says, well, Puerto Ricans are very mixed, but the last name I have is not even my father's. And the story that she told us was shocking. I have no relationship with my father. My mother left him when I was about 1. And when I was 11, my mother reached out to his brother and got his phone number. And I called, and a woman picked up. And I said that I was his daughter, and she wasn't happy about that. And then the father called back and said, don't ever call me again, which is ridiculous. Like, what kind of monster?
That's horrible.
It's horrible.
Mm-hmm. And, I thought
it's
to myself,
horrible.
whoa, look at NY trying to catch up to Salt Lake.
Salt Lake.
With Bronwyn's
you're right.
story, like the whole family drama thing. I was like,
it's
trying to catch up.
Yes.
Well, same production company.
They have the same production company.
Exactly. This is interesting, actually. This is very interesting.
I thought so.
I'm starting to form a conspiracy theory in my head.
I'll always bring you over.
Yeah. I'm hopping on this train with you, Laura. I'm hopping right on it.
So then a little while later, her mom reached out to his brother and said, he can't do this. The brother was furious when he found out what happened. So I guess the father invites her over for Thanksgiving. She was 12 at this point. She goes to his house, and she's got, I guess, a stepsister or half-sister. And she meets her half-sister. And then the father took this picture, like a picture that you would get at like an arcade kind of thing, and split it in half, gave each of them a picture. And, he said, okay, here you go. And that was the last time she ever saw him. I mean...
That's awful. I wonder if she talks to her sister. Probably not, right?
I mean, I would imagine not, but who knows?
Hopefully. Maybe, you know what? Maybe if she didn't all this time and didn't know how to get in contact with her, although I feel like with the internet and 23 and me and all that bullshit, you
right,
could,
there's
anyway, maybe with the show, maybe that's, bridged it a little bit. I don't know.
And then, so she said to her mom that she does not want this man's name. So her and her mom went down the family line looking for her last name because she originally wanted her mom's father's last name. And her mom said, no, he wasn't a good man either. He was abusive.
It's terrible.
Horrible. So she goes and they go looking for her name. And I guess they found this name. And it is a great name.
It's a great name.
And Jessel's like, this is a great name.
Yeah.
And she was crying. She obviously it's an emotional story.
Very upset. Yeah.
Brynn very much connected with her because of the issues that she's had with her father. And, she said, listen, because of her story, I feel like we are very similar. And I do think that they are very similar, except for the way that Brynn is kind of acting out right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we talked about that. Hurt people. So, hopefully we'll be able to see Brynn reel it in at some point.
I'm sure it's not often that she has someone that really could understand her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because you'd have to have a pretty rough situation in order to. So I'm glad for her that she had somebody to connect with, because it's probably quite lonely.
Right.
Well, she had Sai though that she connected with, because Sai had the issues with her mother.
This is true.
And she kind of burnt that bridge. She
did.
Yeah.
She did.
She burnt that bridge because her and Sai did connect because of those reasons.
Yeah. Yep.
So then they all get back in the van, and Ubah starts asking about Aaron's dad, and they call him, and because she said she wants to meet up with him for lunch, which was really kind of like bittersweet for us to see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's since passed. Yeah. And they're talking about dinner, and he says that you have to make sure that it's kosher. I actually thought he was going to be coming over for dinner the way that conversation
I was hoping
went.
he was.
Yeah, but he didn't come over, so I guess I misunderstood.
He must have been in the city.
Maybe that was it. Was it. Then Aaron asks Brynn, like, how are you? And Brynn's like, well, I want to go home. She's like, I don't feel welcome by Ubah and Sai. And this is after they get back and the two of them are upstairs, like in Aaron's room. Ubah and Sai and Jessel all go shopping for dinner because they're going to make this Shabbat dinner. Jenna, Aaron, Raquel, and Rebeca and Brynn all stay back. And Jenna goes to talk to Brynn, and she says, like, Brynn says that she's leaving. And Jenna's like, listen, I don't want you to leave. Like, just stay. And then she says, listen, I'll let you wear all my diamonds. And that's all she needed to say to Brynn. She's like, oh. Yeah.
I wanted to point out, did anybody notice when they were in that kitchen filming with Jenna, did you notice how they filmed it a little differently? Did anybody catch that? There was this.
No.
When Jenna was, if you go back and watch it, when Jenna is in the kitchen, they filmed it almost kind of like very like organically, like if you had your iPhone out and you were like filming somebody do something.
Like propped it up.
It was interesting.
Yeah, I did notice that.
You did notice that? Yeah. I was like, oh, look at you people. Yeah. So they just did a little different thing with the filming there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't notice that.
I really do. I mean, for all of those women cooking at the same time, that kitchen flowed.
Yes, it did. It did.
It
did. So then Jenna goes and gets her big, beautiful necklace, and she gets her rings. And Brynn's like, I can wear it the whole night. And she's like, yes, you can wear it the whole night. When she puts the necklace on Brynn.
Drink so much, though. Brynn was trying to get Jenna to drink, and Jenna was like, no, I'm good.
I mean, Brynn's trying to get everybody to drink. Yeah, Brynn wants everyone to drink. Brynn wants everyone to drink. That's
annoying to me, and I like to drink. But if somebody says no, you just let it be. Let it be.
Yeah, because she did the same thing to Rebeca when they first got there. She wanted Rebeca to drink too, and Rebecca's like, no. So after Brynn gets the necklace on, she said she felt like Pretty Woman. So after Jenna gives the diamonds to Brynn in her confessional, she says, a diamond's they're a girl's best friend, and they have healing powers, and I 100% agree with that. Next, we see Sai says to Jessel, when is the first time you went to the supermarket? Or the last time? When was the last time you went to the supermarket? Because those guys are out there. This was so funny.
It was very funny.
So funny. And I'll be honest with you, I've never related to Jessel more than when she was in the supermarket and when she was cooking.
Because you don't go.
Because I don't go to the supermarket and I don't cook.
Right.
So, I mean, I was right there with you, Jessel, during this whole thing. So Jessel says, I literally never go. Sai says, all right, let's play a game. How much is organic milk? Jessel guessed $6.50. The answer is $9. And Sai admits, like, that's high. Like, she's never paid that much.
That's Hamptons. Right. And Ubah said it, that we're in the Hamptons.
Right.
I mean, I buy organic almond milk. There's 3 ingredients in it, and I think it's $6. So Jessel was close.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Emotional Support Water Bottle. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ailish. We're two besties who don't leave the house without their water bottles.
Every week, we're bringing you conversations about pop culture news, relatable real-life topics, and our random thoughts about the world today.
We cover things like Bravo TV recaps, breaking celebrity scandals, and Hollywood updates, and dig deeper on topics relating to navigating our 30s, dating and relationships, and keeping our work, social lives balanced.
So grab your water bottles and look out for new episodes every Friday.
Yes. So then the next one was avocado oil. Jessel guessed $5.16.
Which again, that's high.
I
guess depending on what size the container is, but
dozen eggs. Jessel guessed $11. The actual is $8, and I think our actual is $5 for a dozen eggs.
Depends on what you get. If you're getting like organic, fresh.
Yeah, that is true. It does depend. Farm. It does depend what you're getting.
Yeah,
but in Howell, you can get them for $5 roadside.
Really?
A dozen eggs. Yes.
Well,
yes,
that's what Laura. That's what you were getting, right? A dozen for $5, Laura.
And I have some, so if anybody needs it.
Yes.
I'll take some.
Okay, good to know. So then Jessel says, do you know how much I'm paying for my frozen eggs? I mean, embryos? $1,000 a month. Sai asked, do you pay per embryo? Yes, exactly. That's how she transitioned. And Sai said, do you pay per embryo? And she's like, no, like she pays that for, all that she has. And she's like, well, you can put them in a surrogate because Jessel's conflicted about, she really wants to have a girl. She really wants to have a girl. And we saw that conversation with Pavitt, and he's just not ready. He's not ready.
Why would she use a surrogate? Did she say?
I guess because she didn't say. She did not say.
I know people do it for a lot of different reasons. I just didn't know if she had said her reason. But Sai was totally into it for $250K.
Yep. And she had been offered to carry 2 of them for that. I'll be honest with you. I mean, if I wasn't old AF, I would do it for $250K.
Me too. I was thinking the same thing. If I wasn't as old as I am, fuck yeah, I would do it.
How about you, Lori? Would you do it for $250K?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Especially if I could have another scheduled C-section. Like, sign me up.
Yeah. Maybe, Listen, you're helping somebody, and I don't know. I would definitely be into that. Anyway,
so
that ship has sailed for us.
Yeah. Ubah says she pays $300 a month for her eggs. So to keep, I guess,
Ubah?
to keep her, that's what she said. Ubah says she pays $300 a month for her eggs.
Oh, I didn't hear her say that. I didn't know she had hers frozen too.
Yeah, because she does say, come on, get pregnant with me. And that's when Jessel's like, Papa's not completely on board. And so Jessel said she can't get pregnant naturally. So I don't know if, maybe she did carry the twins. I would imagine that she did, right? She did carry the twins because she was talking about that. And maybe it just was too much for her that, the next one she would have to get a surrogate, or maybe she could. I don't know.
Twins are a lot. I mean, that's a lot on your body. I mean, two little nuggets in there.
2 peas in the pod is a lot.
Yeah.
But I get her. I mean, I get that she doesn't want to get rid of those embryos because that's pretty much her only chance. Those are her babies, And
how much does it cost to do that? So much money. And now you have them.
Right.
Move them. Definitely move them to New York and save yourself $700 a month for sure.
Yeah. Yes, because she is paying Beverly Hills rate.
She's paying $1,000 and Ubah's paying $300. I mean, save yourself some money.
Yeah.
Bring them to New York. But,
Who was it that asked? Was it Ubah asked if you could put them in your refrigerator?
Yes.
If you can put them in your freezer. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to yawn.
That's okay. But Ubah has them frozen. So why does she not know you can't put them in your freezer?
I think she was trying to be funny.
I don't know.
I think she was trying to be funny.
All right. But Jessel does say that she could never have Sai as her surrogate because then she would have to take the back seat and Sai would be running the show and Jessel could not have that happen.
Yeah. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. If I had to, I certainly would. Like Emily Simpson had her sister.
Sisters. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And her sister did it for both of her twins and her other child.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying, like, that is such a selfless gift to give to somebody.
Absolutely.
Such a selfless gift. So then Brynn and Jenna decide that they're going to go take a nap. The girls get back from the store, and I said that watching Jessel in the kitchen and Brynn trying to help her, Sai trying to help her, it so reminded me of me. Like, I'm sure if the 3 of us were in the kitchen, the way she was peeling the potatoes, I would be peeling the potatoes wrong. You'd be because this is why I don't peel potatoes, because Bill says you're peeling them wrong. I'm like, well, then you peel them.
Right.
So if I'm peeling them wrong and you tell me how to peel them, I'm probably going to say,
then you peel them.
Then you peel them.
Yeah. Yep.
So I could totally relate to that.
Oh my God, Aaron and Brynn and the rote.
And that was hysterical. So they're talking about pranking the ladies.
Yeah.
It's funny that they're talking about that because these pranks don't usually go well.
They don't.
Right? They don't usually. Games and pranks for housewives usually do not go well. They usually take a turn for the worst.
Do dinner games, but I will say Never Have I Ever is the only acceptable game for housewives to play at the dinner table because that was a good game.
That was a good
they
game.
did okay with it. I was surprised myself.
Yes. Yes.
I
In the
like
past, games have not worked out well.
no. I like how Jessel was asking Jenna about her latex outfit and asked her if it was part of a truck at some point. Do you see that?
What the hell did that even mean?
Because it's probably like it's a recycled latex. It's rubber. So Jessel was like, at some point, was that like a truck, and then it got like recycled into the latex? You don't get it?
Recycled.
Yeah,
Into latex.
into latex. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, Jenna with that latex and her boobs out like that. I mean, not anyone can pull that off, but I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, she could pull that off.
Yeah.
And even Brynn in her green slinky dress.
I did
That
not
is
like
a
that dress.
gorgeous green for Brynn.
I didn't either. I
didn't
did.
like
I
it.
love the color. I
Yes,
agree with
but
you.
I
The
don't
color
like-
looked great
I
on
don't
her.
like the
Was not a fan of that dress.
I thought the dress was, I love the color,
Mhm.
and I thought it was avant-garde. I thought Brynn could pull it off. I don't think everyone could pull. I mean, Ubah could pull it off too. Ubah could pull that dress off, but
I don't know.
it was different.
Yeah.
It was different.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I'll say that. And Jessel says this is her first Shabbat dinner ever. I did note that they're sitting down for dinner and it's 9:14. I mean, that's a little
It's
bit
late.
late.
That's
That's
I
what
late.
they
get-
do.
I get that's why Sai brought back the pizza after she was done shopping. But
Yeah.
she knew she wasn't eating dinner till late.
Yep. Little snacky poo.
So then Brynn asked Jenna about the latex, and she said she used to own a lot of latex because she used to date this guy who was a reporter for the New Yorker, and he was doing a piece on sex clubs in New York. Now, this is big news right here. And she's talking about how she would go all over the city to back then there was many sex clubs in the city, and that one of them was like this like dungeon in the downstairs, sex dungeon. There was a lot of watching, a lot of people getting naked, and a lot of public sex. This does not surprise me.
No, it doesn't surprise me either.
No.
No.
But the best was when Jessel said,
Go where I want to visit, but doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
the best was when Jessel was like, oh, so like, this must have been secret. Like, you never like went on Yelp to find out like before you go, like, which is the best sex club. And Jenna was like, no, there was no internet.
No.
So funny.
No.
Right.
No. Exactly. There was no
There was
internet
no
back
internet.
then.
I thought
Right.
that was
It was
great.
word of mouth.
Yes. Then Ubah is the last one to come down, and then Erin is going to say the prayer, and she explains to us that it's usually done by the men, and she's saying it in Hebrew, and she stumbles a bit, and then Rebeca finishes it, which I thought was a little odd. And then when Erin talked about it in her confessional, it was even odder to me that, she doesn't understand how someone can have two religions that are completely opposite.
I did not realize, like, does she practice Judaism as well as Scientology?
She must.
Because, I mean, I don't know much about Scientology at all, but what Erin said was that they are two conflicting ideas. So I'm very open to, other religions and people's beliefs, but I don't know if they're that different in beliefs, how you can be both.
Well, I think what it may be, and I could be wrong, but Minkoff is Jewish because we know Crystal Minkoff is Jewish.
And they
she's
are
met
related.
from Beverly
Are they
Hills.
related?
They are related.
They are?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
How are they
Distant-
related?
Distantly, they found out through 23andMe.
Through Rob, I guess, right?
Well, yeah,
But
obviously
they
to
are,
her
but they are
husband.
related
Right.
in some way.
So I
Interesting.
guess she was Scientologist, but she married someone who's Jewish. So, I
so
guess she,
Minkoff is her married name.
yes, I would assume so, right? I would assume so.
Actually,
I don't know. She's a designer, so it depends on when she started designing. Like if she
don't
started
think so,
designing
no.
before she got married.
no, because her father.
It's not her married name.
No, 'cause
Okay.
her father's Dr. David Minkoff. So
Yeah.
the
So
deal
she
was
must have started designing before she got married.
yeah. So the deal with Scientology
So then,
is it's not necessarily a religion like you think of Islam or Christianity or Judaism. It's more of a thing where you're kind of taught almost that like you are the temple, like they feel
Right.
like if you reach a certain level in Scientology that you can actually like cure yourself. And so it's more of like a mindful as opposed to relying on something other than
There's
yourself.
no higher power.
You are the higher power.
Right?
There's no higher power?
Praying to a higher power.
No, because you are the higher power.
Right? Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? That's
and
that's
that
how they
deal with
roll.
healing yourself, allegedly, this is why Kelly, I forget her last name, but she was John Travolta's wife. She died of breast cancer. Kelly Preston. And she, from allegedly was not treated.
Well, I have
and his son Jet also, I don't know what the ailment he had, but whatever it was, allegedly was not treated because of their Scientology
beliefs. I have
That's
a whole
what I've
rabbit
read,
hole on that.
but again, allegedly.
Yeah, I have a whole rabbit hole on that, but Kelly's
Do you have it now?
Yeah, but Kelly's tired, so I think we could skip it till the next.
Okay, no, I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
I'm tired too.
Yeah.
5:30 will be here very quickly.
Exactly.
5:30 will be here very quickly. All right, so we'll talk about that another day.
Yeah.
So then Erin says it's, in her confessional, she talked about that, but she said to everybody, she said it's a special time going into Passover, and she was so grateful that all of these ladies made the dinner and they were there with her for it. And I agree, like that is a very special thing. I've never been to a Shabbat. I've never been to a Passover dinner because I've never been invited, but I would love to experience it, to be quite honest with you. I would be open to learning about it and other customs and traditions.
Yeah, I've been as well. The Passover dinner is long because you read.
I've only been to a Shabbat, never to a Passover.
No, I've been to Passover with the reading.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well,
maybe I'll do the abridged version like the Shabbat.
Yeah, Shabbat's probably good. Yeah. Because that's like an every Friday night thing, isn't it? Shabbat?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then no, it's okay. Go ahead.
Somebody go ahead.
Brynn asks what they're doing the next day. And Erin says she has a chef coming over tomorrow. And Brynn says, what is he making? And she said, a lot of food. And then Jessel looks over at Raquel and says, oh my God, your earrings. What is that? Are they a vagina? Where did that come from?
I don't know, but did you guys see a vagina? I guess.
I did not.
No.
I did not.
I got no vagina vibe.
Even Erin's like, no.
No.
So that's when they then decide that they're going to play the game, Never Have I Ever. And the first one was, never have I ever confused someone's name during sex. And Brynn's like, well, she did. And it was with Gideon. And she called him her first fiance's name.
Oh, my gosh. That's awful.
That's horrible.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know. That's probably the worst thing you could do, especially to a guy.
Yeah.
I feel like we would take that much better than a guy.
Oh, 100%. And then she's like, I got off his dick and I said, I'm sorry. Well, not only did you do that to him, now you've just announced it on national TV.
Yes, you did.
And we met Gideon. And actually, I liked Gideon, right? We all liked Gideon.
Yeah.
So my heart breaks for Gideon. That's all
I'm poor
say.
Gideon.
That's all I'm going to say.
He took a hit on that episode.
The next one was, never have I ever seen my coworker naked. And Rebeca in her confessional says, well, her ex-boyfriend, he was a graphic designer and she moved to New York and she was desperate for help. So she hired him, but that doesn't count.
It does not count, Rebecca. Stop it.
It doesn't count. And then Brynn is trying to tell Erin that she did. And Erin's like, she did it with him before she worked with him. That one doesn't count either.
Yeah. So
right?
on that whole Erin thing. So basically Erin was saying her business partner was her high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what she said. Yeah. It's like,
right now, her current business partner. That's the way I heard it.
Yes.
So it was way before they were business partners that she saw him naked.
Yes.
Right. Doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. And honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it was high school.
No. And by the way, girls, find some other people to be in business with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're pretty successful.
Yeah, they are. I guess that was a good choice after all.
The next one was, never have I ever been flashed in public. And Erin's like, I used to do it all the time.
Yeah, how do you like that?
I mean, a real party girl in her younger days.
Uptown girl Erin flashing for taxis.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting.
Well, they're, makes sense.
I have a friend of mine, I will not name names, but they know who they are. And she flashes and has flashed many times.
We definitely know who this is.
Of course you do. And listen, if you've got great tits, flash them.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
And Erin said she was much bigger back then, too. I guess was it children that ruined her boobs?
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of women, when they breastfeed,
yes,
even if you don't breastfeed, sometimes pregnancy just kind of deflates.
Yeah, it ruins them.
Unfortunately, that did not happen to me.
All right, the next one was, never have I ever licked a butthole. What?
Who said that, Brynn?
I don't remember, but I would imagine it was Brynn.
She's she's getting a little Tamara-ish.
Yeah, Jenna said I would never. Erin goes to get the fake cockroach. And Jenna keeps talking about her pavlova, this dish that she's making, her pavlova. I had no idea what it was. She brought it out, and I was like, oh, it's a dessert. Like, I thought it was, I don't know. I thought it was like an entree or something.
No.
I'm sure
No.
you guys knew it was a dessert.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
It
I know.
looked delicious, by the way.
It did.
Yeah, it's like a meringue.
Which one of you, Lori, can you make a pavlova? Yes, that's what it said. It was like a
Yeah.
meringue.
I can certainly make one.
Can we make a pavlova? Maybe we could do a tutorial on how to make a pavlova
There you go.
and put that on our story.
There you
Right?
Sounds good.
Sure.
Okay, so they go and get the cockroaches. They decide that they're going to put it in the pavlova because that's all that Jenna is talking about. And they're all eating it. It looks delicious. Jessel goes to take a bite, and then all of a sudden she sees it and starts screaming. Then they all laugh, and then all of a sudden Ubah runs out and starts vomiting.
Yeah. And Sai runs after her, and then she starts vomiting.
Now, I want to ask you
Which
that.
is exactly what I would do.
Do you think
Okay.
that was even real? I think that was produced.
The vomiting?
Oh, yes.
Oh no, that was real.
I didn't
You think they
see-
were? You think?
I think, yep. I think it was produced. Yes, I do.
No, I don't think it was
I
produced.
put nothing past production anymore.
And anyway,
Because at the end of this, don't let me forget, Wendy. I just want to say something about Potomac that I saw.
Okay.
Before we end the pod.
and why are you rushing into the bathroom when someone else is puking? What are you going to do for them?
I did the same thing. They were literally all in the bathroom
Like, what are
while
you
she was
doing?
throwing up.
What are you doing?
The smell alone makes me want to vomit.
I mean, I can handle
Well,
puke.
I think Sai went to check on Ubah.
Yeah, but to check on her for what? She's puking. What are you going to do? She's a grown woman.
Right.
Hold her hair.
I'm sure she's puked many
Hold her
times.
hair. That's what friends do. They hold their hair, so you don't vomit on your hair. I guess that's when you're drunk and you don't know to hold your own hair.
Yeah,
I
come
mean,
on.
listen, one person in there for sure.
But then
5,
you, right?
not
no.
necessary.
That was also a part of what led me to believe that it was produced. I don't know. It was just off for me.
Yeah.
All right. So then Erin runs in the bathroom and she's yelling, "You're throwing up in my sink." Okay. Who cares?
Yeah, well, it's either your sink or your toilet. So
No, the
Right.
toilet
maybe they
was
don't want
being
to
used.
shove their face in your toilet.
No, Ubah was in
Yeah,
the toilet.
so it is
That's
what
why
it
she
is.
had to go to the sink.
Right.
Okay.
Then we go back to the table, and I didn't immediately realize that Jenna put those plastic
I know.
cockroaches on her nipples. At first, I
know.
was like, what the fuck is going on with her nipples? That's what I
Me
thought
too.
at
So
first.
gross. It
Me
was so
too.
cringy.
And then it hit me. I was like, oh my God. She
Ew.
just put those cockroaches on her nipples.
It was
He
gross.
did. That
was
was
gross.
gross.
And then she licked the
And then
cockroach.
Ubah said she realized today that,
Yes, she did.
yes, she did. Yes, she did. Ubah says, today I realized that if I get pregnant and start throwing up, so I can't come over.
I cannot come over.
No.
She's right. Yep.
So the next morning, the doorbell rings and the chef and the baker comes over.
That
I mean,
breakfast looked so good.
yes.
So good.
How much do you think that costs? Let's make a guess.
I mean,
Private
there were
chef
only,
and
what,
private
7 of
baker.
them? I don't know. Maybe like 350, 400.
How much a head?
Oh, I think it's. I'm thinking $2,000.
Yeah, because you got to
Well,
figure out
maybe
like
You
how
know, all
much.
the food.
Well, maybe for them to be there. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, how
thinking
much
like
a head?
like per person. But I guess if they come to the house, yeah, maybe
I'm thinking-
1,000.
I'm thinking $2,000 to $3,000. That's my guess.
Heh.
I'll look it up and see if I can find out
Yeah.
how much it costs to get a private chef and a private baker to the house
I mean,
with
you're
all
not
the
paying them
ingredients.
both. Yeah, I mean, first of
You-
all,
Pay them both. Yes, you are.
she probably didn't pay them anything. They probably just came and did it because they were on the show.
Probably.
I think I don't know. Do we even know the name of that? I mean, we know his name, but we don't know, like.
You introduced them.
company.
Yeah, she did. All right, we'll have to look into that. So then we see Rebecca's pumping her milk in the morning, and Jessel asks how long you're going to do it. And she said, well, the last one she did for 3 years.
That's a long time.
She actually said, until they can lift up my shirt and say no more, that's how long she will breastfeed.
I was happy to hear that she would at least cut it off at that point. And listen, no disrespect to anybody who does do that. It's just, I don't know.
It's not going to be me. That's all I got.
It's a long time.
That's
Not gonna
to
be
me.
me.
That's crazy town. But you
I'm
do
not
you.
the one.
Honestly, I think it's a generational thing. I think that Gen X, there was not a Gen Xer out there who was breastfeeding for 3 years. Let's be real.
No.
Who had
Maybe.
time? I mean, we were freaking doing everything. There was
Right.
no internet. There was no Uber. There was no DoorDash.
Right.
No.
I mean, we were not breastfeeding for 3 years.
Right.
All right, I'm just going to say that. On to the next rant. What happens next? So then Jessel's on FaceTime with Pavitt, and she's talking to him. And Pavitt's like, it sounds like, you're just getting up. Like, it's so late. And he's
my
like, you're
God.
always sleeping. And then her son Rio is there, and he says to Rio, who's always sleeping? And he says, Mom's always sleeping. I, like her, would have been pissed off.
Yeah, she seemed upset over that.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was funny, but when it's you, like, you don't want to hear that.
No.
You don't want to hear your kid say that.
No.
And I'm a napper, so my kids probably thought the same thing about me, but.
Yeah, but even still, he was kind of like, you owe me. Like, I'm doing you a favor because I'm watching the kids. Well, they're your kids too, Pavitt.
Yeah, but you know what? Think about the guys in your life. They always
I
think,
know.
they always have that mindset. Like,
I
have
know.
to watch the kid. What do you mean you got to watch the kid? They're your kids.
Yeah.
You have the kids
Right.
because I'm not home.
So then Jessel asks Jenna if she can try on her engagement ring. Oh my gosh, that was gorgeous, that engagement ring.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that was beautiful.
Then they all come down for breakfast, and Rebeca said, I thought we were all eating in pajamas. I must have missed the memo. And then Brynn kind of throws shade at her. She said, well, you have 2 suitcases, Rebeca. She's like, yeah, but I've only used half of 1 suitcase. I thought this next thing was a little odd because Brynn whispers to her and is like, when I say things like this, you can push back and say, like, I have a clothing brand and you sold sweatshirts at BravoCon. Like, was she talking to Brynn?
Who was she?
Brynn sold sweatshirts at BravoCon?
Yeah, who was she talking about? I have that written down. Who was she talking about? Who is it that sold sweatshirts? At BravoCon?
It sounded to me like she was talking about herself because Brynn is the one who gave her shade for it. And she's telling her, like, you can push back and say, well, I have a clothing brand. You sold sweatshirts at BravoCon. So I'm thinking it had to be Brynn selling sweatshirts. But what did her sweatshirts say? I don't even know.
Probably something that she said, something about dating your dad.
Yeah, probably. And she said, give it back, Queen. Like, give it back to me. And Rebecca's like, that's not who I am. Like, that's just not what I do. I just thought that was very odd.
Yeah, like, stop trying to produce, Brynn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not in my nature. And then Brynn said, bitch, you're not going to last long. Bitch, you're not going to last long. No, actually, bitch, Brynn, you're not going to last long.
Yeah, she better watch herself.
And I like Brynn. I want to like Brynn.
Too. I know. She definitely has to, like, simmer down.
She really does.
Now, I have a question.
Can we-
I have a question. So when they were talking and Ubah was talking and Ubah said in regards to Brynn, she said, see, she side chick me. Do we know what she means? She kept saying that.
Well, the side chick isn't the main girl in your life. It's the, it's your gumad. It's the side piece.
Yeah, but she was saying it.
What was she saying it in reference to? I forget.
She was saying it in regards to Brynn. She was saying she side chick me. And I was like, what is she talking about? I don't know. Maybe you guys watch it again and you can tell me because I had no clue what she was talking about.
Yeah.
Might be just some
Well, let me look. No, side. This is what it was. Okay, so the last night, like the night before, Erin pulled Ubah into the room with her and Brynn. And Ubah said, like, last night she went to their room and so that her and Brynn could resolve the issues. And they hugged and they said that they love each other. And Brynn says, I have to stop cutting you off. And Ubah says, Brynn sidekicks me. And Brynn said, you drop kick me. So she was saying, like, every time I say something, you sidekick me. And then Brynn's like, well, then you drop kick me.
Oh, sidekick. I thought
says,
it was
listen,
chick.
Not chick.
Sidekick.
Sidekick.
It was sidekick. Yeah. So then so Brynn says she doesn't want her to come off as this is where it went wrong. She says she doesn't want her to come off as an angry Black woman. Now, I get it.
This was not a good moment for Brynn.
I get it because, listen, Brynn thought she was looking out for Ubah because then even Erin tried to interject and, Brynn wasn't hearing it. And Ubah says, like, don't tell me how,
to behave. How to behave. Don't tell me how to behave.
Yep, right. Don't tell me how to behave. English is not my first language, which is true. English is not her first language. So when she does say things like sidekick, and her words are not always what we expect. Right. So she's crying and begging her not to be condescending because that's what she doesn't like about Brynn. Like,
don't call her angry.
Right. Don't call her angry. Don't call her an angry Black woman. Don't give her that title.
Bringing up the stereotype. Like, come on.
And Brynn says,
I think the deal with Brynn is it's a defense mechanism. She just really wants to hide from her Blackness. She doesn't want to hide from it. She wants to own it. She wants to own it. She wants to own her Blackness. See, I see it the other way around. I see it that Brynn operates as if she's white. She really doesn't. I don't feel like she embraces her Blackness or anything. And I feel like that's kind of what she was projecting onto Ubah. Like, because I think that's part of her defense mechanism from being brought up as a biracial child by a white person. She was raised by the white side of her family, right? Yeah, and I don't think she meant that in the way that it came across. I think she meant it because it was coming from her own self of, almost like, don't be too Black. And I'm not saying that Black women are angry. I'm just saying that's something that we've talked about before. But I just think she was doing it like, well, it's a bad stereotype, obviously. Yeah, but I think Brynn was doing it. You don't put that out there, right? But I think Brynn was doing it from a position of where it's like this built-in defense mechanism for her. Like, don't be too Black. That's how I saw it.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but the fact that we know that Brynn felt most at home and most connected to her Black heritage every Saturday when she spent the day in the hair salon with all the Black people getting her hair done. Yeah, not her actual family, right?
Yes, she did.
And we know that Ubah grew up in another country that was predominantly Black, and their fight was for food, and just survival.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think she's having a hard time relating that their experience as being Black is not the same Black experience. Who do you think's trying to get that across? Ubah, not Brynn. I think that Ubah is saying, listen, English is not my first language. Don't tell me how to behave because I'm behaving how I feel appropriately to behave. Like, you and I did not grow up the same way. Right. Just because you're Black and I'm Black doesn't mean that what I'm doing is the same as what you're doing. That's how I was taking it. Yeah. And I'm sure it's a combo of both. I don't think that, because I don't think that Brynn embraces that side, but I guess it's difficult when you weren't raised, when that side of your family wasn't
this is a thing
around.
You grow up and you identify with something. And she grew up, besides those Saturdays, in a mostly white environment. So you become accustomed to chameleoning yourself into that. And I think because she's done that for so long, that she just saw that as, to her, it was like a red flag. I don't know. Just There's a whole lot going on there with Miss Brynn.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, there's definitely a whole lot going on with Brynn. But I don't want Brynn to be able to use all these things as excuses because let's be honest, Sai did not have an easy upbringing.
No.
Jessel's probably wasn't as traumatic as she thinks it was, but we just heard Raquel's. We just heard what happened with Raquel's upbringing.
Yeah.
You know, so don't use this as an excuse. Like,
I don't think
didn't
we've
grow up in
seen
an
the
ivory
real-
tower.
No, I don't think we've seen the real Brynn yet.
No.
I don't think anything that Brynn's put out there yet on this show in 2 seasons is the real her at all. Like you asked last week who we thought was the most authentic. I think she's the most inauthentic.
I agree.
Of this crew.
Yeah. I agree. 100% I agree.
But
That's why it's like Tamara, she's stirring the pot so much because she doesn't, what is her story? We know nothing about her other than her brother.
I don't even think she knows herself, which I think is part of the problem.
Maybe you're right.
I think she's just
Maybe you're right.
existed
And that
and
does come with
operated.
age and maturity, but
Sure. And therapy. So maybe she needs to get the 2-for-1 deal with Sai,
yeah.
the therapist.
yeah.
And the other problem is that, you know, Brynn wants Ubah to accept her for who she is, but she's not accepting Ubah for who she is. She wants what she's not giving, you know?
Right.
And Ubah gets very frustrated. And I do think a language barrier is a part of it because she wants to tell her exactly how she feels, but she always feels like Brynn is condescending to her. And that is what bothers her the most. Like, don't talk down to me. You know, I feel like she's saying, like, don't talk down to me, bitch. Like, don't tell me how to behave. You are not my mother. Who are you to tell me what to do?
Right.
You know, they didn't resolve anything.
No.
They both left upset. Oh, Brynn's crying. They're trying to tell Ubah to let Brynn talk, but Ubah's over it.
I do think that everybody, because afterwards, Brynn's like, you're all sitting there with your thumb up your ass, not even like sticking up for me. I do think most of them tried to get Ubah to stop talking and let Brynn talk.
They did.
I think that was unfair of Brynn to say to them. Like, nobody sticking up for me. But they were trying to get her to calm down.
They were absolutely trying to get her to listen to Brynn, but she didn't want to listen to Brynn.
I'm like, Ubah, you lose my trust, you're never getting it back. Ever. So I get where Ubah's coming from. Like, yeah, I'll be on the show with you. I'll be cool with you on the show, but that's that circle of trust. You know, you're not in my circle anymore. You're out of the circle.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how it plays out because we do know by the way the season started that Ubah and Brynn are not in a good place when the season ends.
No, that's right.
And
something major must happen.
I mean, I don't know. And you know. In the very beginning, Ubah did say what really upset her about Sai was not that she outed Oliver, it's that she betrayed Sai. Like, that's what upset her about Brynn so much.
I don't know if I believe that.
I kind of do because she still is very close with Sai. Ubah and Sai are very close.
Yeah, but I think if it were about somebody else and not about Ubah's boyfriend, I don't think Ubah would be so jacked up about it.
True.
I think she would still have these feelings like you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You know,
you betrayed my trust.
Yeah, you betrayed Sai and she's my good friend. So I feel a certain way about you. But I don't think she'd be so jacked up if it didn't have to do with her outing the fact that she had a boyfriend in Connecticut. And she was adamant about that not getting out.
But the thing is, Brynn is doing it to all of them. She's doing it to Jenna. She's doing it to Aaron. Brynn is doing it to all of them. And Ubah is the one who is calling Brynn out for doing it to all of them.
Right.
Nobody else. I mean, yeah, Aaron calls her out for the stuff she's doing to her.
Right.
But Ubah is calling her out for the stuff she's doing to everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah. And I think that's where the disconnect is. Because when they're trying to tell Ubah to listen to Brynn, it was like, I'm not listening to her. Like, you guys don't even see what's happening. Like, am I the only one who sees what's happening? You're telling me to listen to her. What does she have to say? She did this to you. She did this to you. She did this to you. I'm not going to take it.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Yep.
I don't know. Any more thoughts on New York?
Well, I did watch a little Bravo thing on, it was luxury splurges.
Okay.
So they interviewed the girls and it was like a high-low thing. So for handbags, is there anybody? So I'm going to give you the names: Jessel, Jenna, Brynn, and Sai. Who do you think would go low on the handbags?
Sai.
It's spending.
Or Jessel.
Who would be low?
I say Jessel.
So
Jessel.
Jessel was high. She spends high. Jenna was low. Brynn was low. And Sai was high. Thought that was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought the opposite. I thought for
Yeah.
sure Jenna would be high. I
Nope.
thought
Yeah.
Brynn would be high.
Yeah. Isn't
I
that
thought-
interesting?
That's so funny. Yep.
So then they had hair and glam. So Erin was high. She spends on it. Raquel said low on the haircut. She said, I get hair put in, not hair taken off. And she spends high on glam. Ubah said she's low on glam. She says, I just use banana peel. Because she puts banana peel on her face. And
Well,
Brynn,
whatever she's doing is working.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Brynn said high on the hair, but low on the glam. Now, water, this was a funny one, how they spend on water. Ubah was funny. She's like, definitely high. She said, I used to have to walk for miles for that shit. I'm spending money on it.
Yes.
So everybody was high for water. Everybody was high for bedding. Sunglasses. Brynn was high. She said she's lost about $10,000 worth of sunglasses in the past 2 years. Jenna says
Oh
she
my
spends
goodness.
nothing because she has some hookup with this company called Zeta that gives her all her glasses. And then Erin was funny. She's like,
Nice.
Erin was like high and low because I'll buy some sometimes that are high end. But she goes, most of the time you can go to Saks on Fifth and get them at half off. This is really funny. So let's see. Undergarments, Brynn says you have to be wearing them. Ubah was funny. She said high because she said the cheap ones are itchy. And Sai was funny. Sai was like, oh, high, low. She goes, I like to go to Paris and buy lots of nice lingerie. She goes, but then for the everyday panty, like I'm thinking like 4 for $28. Those are really funny.
Good old Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, so she was a mix of
Semi-annual sale.
Yeah, but that was a cute little thing that I saw. It's fun. So next time I'll get...
That is fun.
Yeah, next time I will get into the whole Dr. David Minkoff, Rebecca's father, Scientology.
And that's Rebecca's dad.
Saga. Yes, that'll be for next.
All right.
Okay. That will be
Looking forward
interesting.
to it.
But it's a whole
Kelly,
thing.
you wanted to mention something about Potomac?
Yeah, of course I can't find it now, but Mia put out a post and basically saying that G is Jeremiah's father. Her
Oh,
children have their father's last name, and that is Thornton. And production was behind that whole scene. And of course, I should have taken a screenshot, and I didn't. But I just looked on her Instagram, and it's gone. I don't know where she posted it. I'll look to see if I can find it. But I thought that was real interesting. She said, my
That is-
children have their father's last name, which is Thornton.
Good for her.
So, yeah.
Good
And,
for her.
and basically, production was doing her dirty during that scene, which we thought anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. Please like us, give us 5-star reviews, and share it with your friends. Bye.
Bye.